Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. I hope you enjoyed that little playtest of the new Balance Furon 3.0. Now I'm just going to share some of my thoughts, a little mini review on the boots themselves. So I've got them in hand. This is the blackout version. I'm going to rate them on a few different aspects, starting with appearance. Now, although the appearance of the boot doesn't have an effect on the performance of the shoe itself, it can sometimes have a psychological effect on the player. So you want to be playing in something you're comfortable in and you're confident in. If you have something on your foot that you don't have to think about, that suits your personality, chances are you're going to perform better. So I think this is a really good design. Even though I am more of a white boot fan myself, I do appreciate the blackout versions. It's got a very classic feel to it, all black with a small detailing in white here with the New Balance logo. And although it's got a very classic and timeless feel as far as the colorway, it does also contain a modern twist, because if we look in more detail, it's actually got a multicolored reflective detailing on the heel of the shoe and also on the tongue. So for you players out there who really like that classic look but also want a modern twist, this could be the shoe for you. So overall, I'm going to rate these a 9 out of 10 on looks. It's very clean, it's very crisp. However, the only way to get a 10 out of 10 from me is if it was completely white. Now moving on into the comfort of the shoe, and this is the most impressive aspect of the shoe for me. When you put the boot on, it really doesn't require any break-in time whatsoever. It's got such a soft upper that you can pretty much put it on and feel right at home in the shoe from the get-go. I didn't notice any blister points, any pressure points on my foot. I've been wearing these for a couple of weeks now and still yet to experience any blisters from wearing the shoe. So as far as comfort goes, I'm going to have to give these a 9.5 out of 10. Now to talk about the weight of the boot. Now these are advertised as a speed boot, and this is the part of the boot that I think is a bit of a letdown. They aren't as light as I was expecting. From what I've experienced from other speed boots, where you really get that barefoot feel and feeling so light on your feet, this doesn't really replicate that experience. I feel they're a bit heavier, a little bit more bulky in the heel section and on top of the foot. You don't feel as close to the ball when you're dribbling it as you would in something like the Vapor or the old Adidas F50 Adizero. So if that's something that you really like and you're looking for a new speed boot, this might not match the experience that you're looking for. I feel like it's a bit more padded in the upper, which is great for things like shooting and touch. It's very cushioned, it's got like a mesh material. But if you're really looking for that barefoot, lightweight feel, these aren't the lightest boots I've ever experienced. So in regards to the weight of the boot, I'm going to have to give these a 7 out of 10. And although they aren't heavy by any means, they still don't provide that speed boot experience that you're looking for and what you typically find with other speed ranges from other brands. Talking briefly about the lockdown of the shoe itself, I think it provides a really good lockdown. I haven't noticed my foot sliding around at all, even on this artificial ground. And that's where you usually get your blisters from, especially on the ball of the feet, the sole of the foot, and also in the big toe area, which is a big problem when the boot doesn't provide the lockdown that you need. So these are really good in that aspect, so I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10 for lockdown. Now moving on into what I believe is the best aspect of the shoe, which is the sole plate. I really enjoyed the stud configuration. It's kind of got a little bit of an angle in some of the studs. They're very triangular, so they work in all directions. I like the combination of the long studs with the shorter studs as well. And I really noticed a lot of response when I was changing directions. And I think that in conjunction with the good lockdown, you feel very solid. You feel very agile in them. So I think that's a huge plus on the boot. So if you're looking for something that offers a lot of stability when you're changing directions, this is a very good choice. And I'm going to have to give them a 9.5 out of 10 in regards to changing direction and stud configuration. Now to talk about touch on the ball, and I kind of touched upon this, but the upper is a bit thicker than I was hoping, so you don't get that close feel on the ball that you would do from something like the Vapor or the old Adizeros, anything like that. So I would like them to make it a bit thinner. If I had to give them a suggestion to improve this boot, I really like to feel that ball against my feet. I like to feel in control of it and really feel it through my foot. I think that for me provides the best dribbling experience. So it is a bit thicker, which again really helps with shooting. It kind of takes that impact out when you're shooting and also with your first touch. But for a speed boot, for an attacking player who dribbles a lot, I would like to see these a bit thinner. So I'm going to have to give them an 8 out of 10 as far as feel on the ball. And last but not least, I want to talk about the durability of the boots. And I must admit, this is probably going to be one of the more durable boots out there, just because there is a lot of material on the upper, and I think it's very solid. The lockdown's really good. Your feet's not moving around in them, so you're not really bending the shoe around much. It's got a good amount of flexibility to stay rigid as you're moving around the pitch. I think the lace holes themselves seem like they're very solid, so you're not going to experience much damage there. It's a very firm material, so it's going to be very resilient when you're pulling those laces nice and tight. And I've been wearing these for a couple of weeks, like I said, and I really don't see any wear and tear marks, anything substantial whatsoever. The upper seems nice and intact. Around the toe box, it still seems like all the material is fully intact as well. And that's usually where you experience the most wear and tear, especially playing on an artificial pitch when you're dribbling. That's the area of the foot that's making contact with the ground, and it usually scrapes away and wears that down. But so far, so good. So I'm gonna have to give these a 9.5 out of 10 as far as durability. So just to give you my overall thoughts on the boots, I think they're a very solid choice, very good value for money. They're a lot less than the top end models of some other brands out there. But for myself personally, I'm gonna give them an 8 out of 10. It would be higher if the boots were white. That's probably not fair to say, but also I would make them a little bit thinner and a bit lighter because I really like that close feel on the ball and I like to feel really light on my feet. But 8 out of 10, that's a very solid score for the New Balance Furon 3.0.